Whenever you're ready.
So before class today, I heard a bunch of people over there talk about Coachella and everything, and I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that everybody generally in the world listens to music. But I think there's a less amount of people actually read music. And me personally, I've been, like I stated earlier in the semester, I've been studying and playing music for about 15 years. And so today I would like to explain to you exactly how to read music. And I'll do that by explaining how to build a staff, read it, explain the notes that go on it, and the signs that you'll generally see while playing. So the staff is comprised of 5 lines and 4 spaces. The treble clef starts on E and goes E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. The notes stop at G and reset back to A. They don't ever go past G. And then an easy way to remember that is there's a mnemonic phrase for the lines for E, G, B, D, F, which is every good boy does fine. And if you look at the spaces, it's F-A-C-E, so it spells face. So it's pretty easy to remember that way. The bass clef is different. It starts off on G, goes G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And an easy way to remember that, the mnemonic phrases for that, for the lines are good burritos don't fall apart. And then for the spaces, the mnemonic phrase is all cars eat gas. The different notes, it shows all. The different notes are the whole note. The first one is whole note. It's an open note head, and it has no stem or flags on it. It gets 4 beats. The half note is an open note head, and it has a stem on it. It gets 2 beats. A quarter note is a closed note head with a staff. A staff, and it gets a stem, and it gets 1 beat. And they progressively get smaller. The eighth note is a closed note head, a stem, and a flag, and it gets a half a beat. And the 16th note is a closed note head and 2 flags and a stem. It gets a fourth of a beat. You can keep going further and further, smaller down, but those aren't really the basic. These are just the 5 basic notes that you commonly see. And then for a beat, basically to describe a beat would be, it's a constant pulse. Like if you were to look at a clock that ticks 60 times, so it has 60 beats per minute. The different signs you'd see, going back to the reading the staff, the clefs. The clefs determine the actual pitches where it starts. The treble clef, it's located on the 2nd line, so it declares it as a G clef, and that's where you get the 2nd line being a G in reading the music. The bass clef located on the 4th line, and it's also declared an F clef. There's the sharp, flats, and naturals. They augment the tone of the pitch. So the sharp, you increase it slightly upwards by a half step. The flat sign, you slightly decrease it downwards by a half step. Natural, it's if the note was already augmented, it switches it back to its normal pitch, or it just clarifies that it's the normal pitch to begin with. A tie is, it takes 2 notes and basically adds them together. So if you have like that example of the quarter note and a quarter note, it would become a half note because it just adds them together. It's usually used when you're crossing over a bar line, which separates the different measures. It just adds them together. And then one, I don't know why I didn't put an example on there, but it's a time signature. It's usually some kind of fraction, like 4/4, 3/4. It basically dictates the number of beats per measure. So if it's 4, there's 4 beats per measure, 3 beats per measure, and so on and so forth. And then here's what it'll look like all together. You get different things, and hopefully it's not too loud. This is actually a piece that I arranged for my students. The top 2 lines are the same, bottom 2 lines are the same, but you can actually see how it works together. Where did the play button go? Well, that kind of sucks.
Volume control on the dashboard might help.
And this was messed with before. No.
It's usually a knob. Is there a knob there?
Okay. A little bit. No. turn up more. 'Cause, yeah. You can see it, or here, the green bar is dictating where it is in the piece. So here. So you can hear. You can't really hear, but there's a constant pulse going in the background, the metronome dictating the beat. So you can see the different notes, how they fit in. Alright, and then, so I've covered the basis of reading music, how to build and read a staff, the notes that go on it, and the signs that are incorporated while reading music. Thank you. No, go away.
All right, PJ, I thought that you had a nice reference to the earlier discussion that was going on in class that kind of keeps people connected to the fact that you're speaking here and that the audience is a part of what's going on. You've got a very clear thesis statement. There's an excellent preview of what the content's going to be. I think it's a little problematic. You're trying to do a lot of stuff in 6 minutes, so it's a little hard to get through all those things, and some of the ideas get a little rushed. And that's complicated, although I think that you had a good basic explanation of most of the points, and I thought that you integrated the visuals into it pretty well. You had a little bit of trouble with the audio setup on the visual, and that throws a monkey wrench a little bit into the energy of the presentation and the way everything was flowing up to that point. But other than that little bubble, I thought that everything went pretty smoothly. Your voice is loud and clear. It's easy to hear you. There's obviously, you're quite aware of pitch and variety, so there's not a problem there. You are using your voice pretty effectively to communicate ideas. I didn't see any obvious anxiety issues except when we had that moment of awkwardness with the audio, and then it's a little bit of panic, but for the most part, everything was very solid. All right. Thank you.